Hi, YouTube, if you're watching this is a rebroadcast from our Instagram Live on Thursday night. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, this is a rebroadcast from our Thursday Night Live. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I hope you're about to have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys, and I'm so excited to chat with you here live. As you know, these are our live episodes, so they're a little more informal, so it's all good. We're going to do some Q&A, some interaction. We'll break down the tea. We're going to talk about Eboni. We're going to talk about OC returning. We'll talk about it all. But yeah, shall we dive into it? I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful weekend thus far. Hi, Sam. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Shelly. Shelly girl. Hi, Julia. Welcome on in. Okay. Let's start with Eboni. Whoo-wee, Eboni K. Williams. Okay, so Eboni K. Williams was at a comedy show out in New York the other night. Depends on when you're listening to this. I believe it was Wednesday night of this week that she went out to a comedy show. Sam Bloomstone is the comedian. He was on stage performing his stand-up routine. In the front row, there were some housewives. It was Eboni K. Williams. It was Bronwyn Berg from Real Housewives of Orange County. And it was former housewife Barbara Kay. Well, Sam was on stage and he was doing his thing. And he was like, hey, I'm so funny. Listen to me. I'm a comedian. And then there were some women in the front row, these housewives and their friends, that were heckling Sam. And they, were just like getting, I don't know, I think they were like rolling their eyes, and at first it was kind of in jest, and then they were kind of getting annoying. And then eventually Sam ends up like making a comment, and I think he said something like, this is, if there were ever a group of Trump supporters or people that would storm the Capitol, it would definitely be this crew right here. Obviously he was making a joke. He's a comedian. He's on stage. He's performing stand-up. It's at a comedy club. But then he made another comment about, he said something to Eboni, and he referred to her as Miss J.C. Penney's, because he said that she was in her J.C. Penney's outfit and her shoes looked like they were from J.C. Penney. She got upset. She, was a little tipsy. She looked like she'd been drinking, one too many no-filter rosés. And she ends up getting up on stage. She was in the front row, so she really just kind of like stood up. And then she like takes the mic out of his hand and then is just like, hold up. What you're not going to do is attack me, and you're not going to disrespect a black queen. And he's, kind of awkwardly, responding to her, still trying to like make it funny and palatable for the audience. And she was just like, she was upset, and then she kind of like sits down, and then she kind of gets back up, and she's kind of doing this, not necessarily like in an, I don't know if I wouldn't say it was like an angry or mean way, but it was more of just like, to me, it looked like she had a big ego. Her ego was bruised, and now she was like, you're not going to talk about me like that, but like kind of like tipsy. You know how like when we get a little tipsy and we're just like, we get a little sassier, we get a little, we're a little looser in our body. So it just seemed like she was like having a tipsy moment, and obviously her ego was bruised, and she was like, well, I'm a housewife, I'm a celebrity, so I can go on stage and I can push my weight around and blah, blah, blah. When in any normal instance, if an audience member goes on stage and tries to take the mic out of the hand of a comedian, that person would get asked out by security ASAP. Security usually doesn't have tolerance even for hecklers. If people are heckling a comedian, usually security, if it gets to like that point, security will boot them out. So the fact that Eboni was even able to get on stage, and then she kind of sat down briefly and got right back up to clarify with everybody that her shoes were not from JCPenney. Like the fact that that was the biggest issue was that she was upset about him saying that her shoes were from JCPenney, and that's what she interpreted as being disrespectful to a black queen. I was like, this is kind of what it felt like what she was doing on Real Housewives of New York, though, where she was inserting, this argument about her being a black woman and other people's actions being in response to her being a black woman. And that's not to take away her experience. Her experience as a black woman is very valid. I want to say that. And I want to say that, like, I will never understand her experience fully because I'm not a black woman in America. So I don't want to take that away from her. But there are instances where, sometimes things happen, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's because you, like, if I were to walk into a store and somebody were to accidentally bump into me, I could very easily be like, oh, what are you bumping into me because you're homophobic? It's like sometimes that argument isn't valid. Like sometimes things just happen, and your sexuality or the color of your skin, like those just aren't necessarily related to the instance that has happened necessarily. And in this case, I don't think he was picking on Eboni because she was a black woman. I think he was picking on Eboni because her and her friends were being disrespectful and they were heckling a comedian on stage. And I think I've told you guys in the past, like I used to do stand-up back in the day. I did it for like a solid 2 years. I performed at like the Laugh House and the Comedy Store and Gotham in New York and the Ice House here in Pasadena, where it was snowing, the Ice House in Pasadena, but insert Girardi joke here. So anyway, I've done stand up, and like one of the things you just don't do, what it is when you're on stage, you're as much of trying to be in the moment as you are. For the most part, your set is rehearsed. Your set's already been, what the jokes are, what the punchline is, how you're going to set them up, how you're going to deliver them. And there's a lot of skill that goes into it, into actual joke writing. I think a lot of people think that they can be stand-up comedians and they think stand-up is so easy to just go up in front of a crowd and tell jokes and make people laugh. But there's a lot more technical skill to it. And I think that's part of the reason why, I'm able to deliver lines and kind of be funny on the podcast, is because I have an experience with joke writing and, delivering in that stand-up setting, in that live stage setting. And so one of the biggest no-nos is heckling a comedian, because it throws off, one, the energy in the room, and two, it can throw off the comedian, and, it just kind of like sets a bad tone. You know what I mean? So it's really in poor taste. Like that's one of the biggest rules when you go to a stand-up show, is you don't heckle the comedians. You just don't do it. So not only were they heckling Sam, but the fact that she even went on stage, took the mic out of his hand, and for the most part, he was trying to still hold on to the mic. If you watch the video, I posted on the Instagram account at @NoFilterWithZack, but he's holding the mic and she's like trying to take it away from him, and he's like still trying to hold it and be like, this is not appropriate. And in his head, he's probably like, where's security? And you still have to like make sure you keep control of the situation, because you're on stage, you have the audience, you're still in charge of the tone and the pace and the vibe of the room. So obviously he doesn't want to make it uncomfortable for everybody else in the room, but it was uncomfortable. It was tacky. The fact that she was upset that he called her JCPenney, the fact that she had to clarify that her shoes weren't from JCPenney, they were Italian leather. These are Italian shoes, she kept saying. It was just bad. Sam Bloomstone ended up going on Heather McDonald's podcast, Juicy Scoop, and gave her the full story of like what happened, everything leading up to it, the actual incident itself. And then he said that they did end up going and having like drinks afterwards, and that they ended up paying for his tab. But even Sam's wife went on Twitter and like responded to the video. I think it was Queens of Bravo. They posted it on Twitter, and she even responded to it, and she was like, yeah, this is like a no-no. Like, it's just, you don't do this. You go into a comedy show and it's all in good fun. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to a comedy show, you're going with the intention of being like, we're going to laugh. I'm probably going to be the butt of a joke if I'm sitting in the front row, and you just kind of, you have a sense of humor and you roll with it, and you're there for the fun of it. Nobody's there to hurt your feelings. Nobody's there to offend anybody. It's all lighthearted, in jest, with good humor. You know what I mean? But I thought it was in very poor taste. I'm not surprised that Bronwyn was there with her. And we also had Barbara K. I mean, I was a little surprised about Barbara K, but I don't know. To me, it looked bad. Like, it was bad to heckle. It was bad to go on stage and take the mic out. But like, to me, it was really just her ego was so big that she thought she could go on stage and defend her Italian leather shoes. Julia, Zack, I found you earlier this year and I listened to you on Apple Podcasts every single day during my workouts. This is the first time I've been able to join live. Yay! Welcome, Julia. I don't know how you listen to me every day though, girl, because I don't release every day. I only release 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I'm glad you're here, Julia. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Suki. Hi, Giselle. Dang, I missed it. Who was the comedian? Oh, the comedian is Sam Bloomstone. The video's on the Instagram accounts if you want to watch the video. I think he posted it on TikTok and then he took it down because obviously it was blowing up and it was getting crazy. Yes, I did do it. And they weren't open mic either. Oh, okay. Drag Me Monique says it's clinical with her. It's like she's trying to compensate for something else. Maybe the fact that her track record would suggest that she likes her men white. You said it, not me. Drag Me Monique. Yeah, it's not a cute vibe. It is interesting when you actually look at Eboni's past. And again, you can't judge anybody based off of their past because people can change, people can evolve, people can do better. Hashtag accountable, hashtag blessed, hashtag grateful. But there is something to be said there. You're right. Yes. I wish he would have ordered to go, but I don't think he will. He used to use a cease and desist letters, so he'll probably pull something to not go if they try to make him go. Where? Sorry, Brittany, I don't know what we're talking about. Hi, Sailor Easton. Feeling Giovanni. Do. Oh, thank you guys. Yes, my hair is fresh. It is bleached. My scalp is tender. My scalp is sore. So if I have sex anytime soon, nobody's going to be pulling my hair because it'll probably break and it'll hurt a lot. Any other thoughts about Eboni? Very tacky, yes. And she slapped. Oh, yeah, that was another thing that people were talking about, Lindsay, is that she slapped his butt. She slapped his butt. She grabbed his butt. And some people were saying that there's a double standard with that because he's a stranger and she's putting her hands on him without permission. And if a man would have done that to a female comedian, that would have blown up. Probably. I think that's a really good point. I think we do have some of those double standards. I think that the situation was lighthearted and in jest, I think, or at least in her head it kind of was, even though she crossed a lot of lines. But, I do think that that's a really good point that a lot of people are making. If the roles were reversed and if she were a man and he were a woman, a female comedian on stage, I think had a man grabbed a female comedian's butt, that would have been a big issue and people would have blown that up as well, in addition to her just walking on stage. So, I think... Especially, I don't think she would be getting as much of the heat as she is getting, though, if she hadn't been so, woke preacher of like, I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to give you a lecture on how to be, more appropriate in these situations. Her entire role on New York this entire season was lecturing people and trying to teach them and trying to really hammer in these lessons, that it is interesting now to see her put in the hot seat for, behaving inappropriately. And she kind of went on Twitter and laughed it off and was very much like, you guys need to calm down. It's not that big of a deal. I was a little tipsy and we all went for drinks afterwards. So it's totally fine. But it's like, it's not totally fine. Like, you acted very poorly. There was no apology. There was no acknowledgement of her bad behavior. It was just like, you guys are being dramatic, and we went out to dinner afterwards. And Heather McDonald even asked Sam, she was like, did Eboni apologize to you at all? And he's like, no, she did. Well, he didn't say that, but he kind of avoided answering the question. And so Heather's like, so I take that as no, she did not apologize to you. And so we can deduce that she did not apologize to Sam, especially since on Twitter, she didn't apologize or acknowledge her behavior or anything. She was just like, you guys are being crazy and you guys need to calm down. So I don't care what a person stands for politically, but she was just trying to take advantage of that for her own gain. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And I think that was the disconnect with the audience and with Eboni this season, was it felt like it wasn't genuine. It felt like it was her trying to paint herself in a certain light so that she can use that to further advance her career. She was taking advantage of the opportunity, but at the same time, she was policing other people to position herself in a certain way, a way that was a little contrasting to some of her other career choices in the past and some of her political viewpoints. And again, people can change their viewpoints, but it felt like she was using, like you said, she was using this medium, this forum, to further advance her own agenda. And then when you see a lot of like the press leaks, like it does kind of, it's not great. So Peacock is like Bravo's cool cousin, and I'm so here for it. Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip is giving. I agree, Drag Me Monique. Ultimate Girls Trip. We had the new episode today. So good. So good. Fun, refreshing, lighthearted, breaking the fourth wall. You know, we get some behind the scenes stuff with the women. They're allowed to talk about the show. I think it's great. I want to get Kyle Richards on my podcast to talk about Ultimate Girls Trip and to talk about her new Peacock Christmas movie. Peacock is like killing it right now. They really are. I guess NBC has no other choice but to kill it, but I think they're doing an incredible job. Incredible. Shall we talk about? Oh, someone asked in the live chat. Sorry, I missed it, but I missed who it was, but I caught the question about: do you think the Pump Rules cast will defend Lala, or back her up, or support her? I think they are supporting her. I think they will back her up, just because she's their friend. It was interesting, and I asked Tom Sandoval about that, about how Lala really held Sheena's relationship to the fire. Yet now that the roles are reversed, I don't think any of them are doing the same to Lala. We'll see what happens at the reunion. Yeah, it's not a pretty situation, but I think they are going to support her just because it's a really fucked up situation, And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, how you get them is how you lose them. I get that. It still doesn't make it enjoyable or palatable for us to watch a single mother get cheated on like that and now have to provide for her baby on her own. Do I like all of Lala's decisions and choices? No, but do I like watching her be a single mom that just got her heart broken in front of the entire world because this man was a pig and cheated on her in a gross way? My heart goes out to the girl and to her baby, mostly to her baby more than her. Oh, I'm so set for Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2, Alicia. So set. When is the reunion filming? The Vanderpump Rules reunion films Friday of this week. So today's Thursday, so it films tomorrow. I know I've already stirred up some drama with my my interview with Tom Sandoval this week. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest that you do. I've already stirred up some drama, sparked some extra fire between the Toms and Katie. Oopsie whoopsie. Bravo needs to start paying me for all these storylines that I'm driving for them. Okay. Everyone thinks Tom. Everyone thinks Tom what? At this point, what do you think of Ramona? I think Ramona is Ramona. I think Ramona has always been Ramona, and I think Ramona will probably always be Ramona. There is a lot to be said that Luann has said that, Ramona can change and is changing or is trying to change. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Luann obviously knows Ramona intimately. I do know people that know Ramona personally, off camera, and they've all said that, she's not the character that's played up on the show. I think she is very ignorant in a lot of ways, but I do believe she has a big heart. I guess I don't want to believe that these people can be genuinely evil people, I think she's dumb sometimes, and I think she says really stupid, ignorant shit sometimes, and I wish she would be better about that. But, I think people are multifaceted. I think we're all humans and we're equal parts good and bad. I think a lot of people like to label individuals as good or bad, and I think we're good and bad. Sometimes we just have good moments and sometimes we just have bad moments, and that doesn't, those little moments don't necessarily make up who we are entirely. And I think when you're on a reality show that's about conflict and resolution, obviously they want to amplify and highlight the conflict, and they don't want the nice boring stuff. They want to continue to amplify the drama and the scandal and, putting your foot in your mouth. And when you have other people like Kenya that are great reality stars that lean into that conflict, I think you have situations like what we're getting on Ultimate Girls Trip. And I think that's what we love about Housewives and Bravo. And I think Peacock's doing a great job with this in the sense that they're giving us everything that we want. We love it. I would be really surprised at Rand. I thought they would last. I thought they would last at least a minute. I didn't think it was going to end so big. What about Jen Shah? Did you watch the Hulu thing about Jen Shah? Yes, and I had a lot of feelings about the Hulu documentary on Jen Shah. They really humanized her a lot. They really gave us a lot of her upbringing and her struggles as a person of color, which was very gut-wrenching. And, it's tough to watch some of that stuff. You see these people as human beings, and I think we got to see a human side of Jen Shah at the start of the documentary. We have, someone she went to grade school with. We have her aunt that was in it. Not the aunt that got her legs amputated, but another aunt that was in the documentary talking about her. So we see all of that. It humanized her, which I understand, but I also didn't love because I feel like we didn't get any of that in The Housewife and The Hustler. We didn't get any humanization of Erica Jane. We just got the flashy Erica Jane on television right off the bat, and then we get into Tom's allegations, and then we get to Tom's victims. Whereas I think there was a little too much focus on Erica. Whereas in the Jen Shah documentary, obviously Jen Shah is the alleged criminal. It was really sad to see the elderly people that she allegedly took advantage of and took money from, and to see that they were giving $30,000 of their savings away. It's heartbreaking. So I'm glad that we got to see the victim stories. I'm glad that they really had an opportunity to tell their stories. I loved getting to see that. That to me was really endearing. Or I guess not endearing, but it helped me have a deeper respect and appreciation for the investigation into Jen and the charges against her, in the sense that okay, this is serious and we do need to give the victims more of the attention, and our hearts do need to go out to them because they do need to be the priority. And the good thing is a lot of them were able to get some of their money back, and very different from the Girardi case where Tom was in possession of their money, so they have to get the money back from Tom and what he had and what he spent and where the money went. Whereas in this case, a lot of these elderly people were putting their expenses on their credit cards, and they were able to call the credit card companies and get the charges reversed. And so, luckily that was helpful for them. But yeah, I didn't love how much they humanized Jen Shah in the documentary. Ooh, I say this as a person of color. Being discriminated as a person of color doesn't give you a right to be a piece of shit. I agree. Well, we did get the juxtaposition, which was her former staff speaking. Did I use that word correctly? Yeah, we did get that. We had Koa who was in it, but we also had fangirls in it. There was another podcast. First of all, I was like, where did they find this blonde bitch podcaster, and why didn't I get the phone call? Because my podcast is way bigger. I do way more legal deep dives. My hair is blonder. My brows are better. I'm not trying to compare. I'm being fake salty, guys. It's not. I'm not really salty about it. But I was just I went and looked up the guy that they had in there. That was oh my god, Jen Shah. I looked him up, and I was okay. I have way more Instagram followers. My podcast is way bigger. My podcast gets way more press. I do actual legal breakdowns on my. Ooh, I have to sneeze. Oof. That's the universe saying, shut the fuck up, Zack. Get over it. Count your blessings, which is true. My blessings are counted. Trust me. I'm very grateful. The cloud of being in a Hulu documentary would have been great, but the company that was in it, I guess, the cream always rises to the top. But no, I ain't that salty about it. Let homeboy get his airtime, and good for him. Congrats to him. I'm really just kind of kidding. Kind of, sort of. But like I said, my hair is blonder. Zack needs to be in these documentaries. Why do they keep giving it to Dana Wilkie? She thinks she's a real journalist. And you know what? Good for her. Zack, I'm waiting for the day you have a talk show on Bravo. From your... What is it? From your mouth to God's ears. The universe, let's manifest that, deliver. Oh, I'm why is everybody saying bless me? It's not that serious that I didn't make it in the Hulu documentary, guys, but bless me because I sneezed. Duh. Your brows are the best. Oh, thanks, Jody. Thanks, you're so sweet. Let's be serious. They asked Danielle to be in Erica's documentary. I know. The caliber of people that get asked to do these documentaries, it's not that high. Thanks, guys. Heather Dubrow's home. Where does it stand on your list of fave housewife homes? I have to say, has Dana thanked you yet? No. Dana has not thanked me. I reached out to her when she started shitting on my wine and was talking a bunch of crap about it. And then it was like becoming a thing and other YouTubers were getting involved and they like made this video about it. And it was not fun. Like when you work on something and you build a business and you build a brand and somebody trashes that, and then you have other podcasters that want to just jump in on that. So then they send people to trash your show and leave you 1-star reviews and write nasty things about your product. Like it's not fun. So I like reached out to Dana personally and I was like, look, let's squash the beef. I don't want any beef. I don't want there to be any contention. You know, I'm obviously going to take accountability for my side of it. I know I haven't been very nice. I know I've said, sassy things. I know I've said shady things. It's part of my personality, but I also understand if like you didn't appreciate it and it offended you or hurt you in any way. I was hurt by some of the things that you said about my business. So I did reach out to her just privately and was like, let's squash this. I don't, me sending her the wine I thought was an olive branch, and then it just continued to snowball and blow up, and I don't have any interest in that drama. So yeah, that's that. But in reference to her thanking me, no, she didn't thank me. She did say we should do an Instagram live to be like, let's show people that we've made up. And I was like, I didn't respond to that. I was like, no, thank you. I would rather just like move on. But Heather Dubrow's house. Let's talk about Real Houses of Orange County. So we open up with Heather Dubrow's return to Orange County. Loved it. Loved the intro. Her house is incredible. Incredible because it's so detailed and so like personal to her own sort of style. Like Villa Blanca or Villa Rosa is incredible. Lots of great housewives' homes are great. But I think Heather's definitely up there in the top 3. Love Bethany's apartments, even though they're not like houses and mansions. Bethany, her style, her aesthetic, love. I almost said Kourtney Kardashian. Kourtney Kardashian's not a housewife. I'm trying to think of what other like big housewives houses that I really love. Heather Dubrow's is great though. I mean the windows, the details, the chef, the hot chef. Oh my God. He can fry my eggs any day. Is Koa the staff member who kept getting blurred out on Real Houses of Salt Lake City? I believe it's Koa. I believe Koa is the one that gets the name bleeped out. I believe Koa is the one that stole the purse from Meredith's store. I believe that is all Koa. Oh my God. Yeah, Ronald Richards was in the documentary as well on Hulu. Your hair looks amazing. Thank you. Oh, hi, Tom Hamlet. Oh, hey, boo. How you doing, cutie? Oh, no. I didn't mean to say that out loud. I forgot we were live. She was hating the wine, wasting time coming out, and her merch shady. Love you. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate all the love for the hair. My scalp is like so tender. I got there at 5. We started bleaching about 6:30. And then I left about 1:30 in the morning, 6:30 p.m. to 1:30 in the morning. So you do the math. My hair's too fried. My brain's too fried to be able to do the math. Dorinda. Oh my God. I was wondering. What were you wondering? Dorinda does have a nice house. Oh, wondering about Koa. Koa didn't steal the purse. It was Jen's current stylist. Oh, interesting. Interesante. But speaking of Heather Dubrow and OC, is Tom Hamlet still in the room? I hope he didn't hear me. Speaking of OC, Heather Dubrow's return, great. The house, incredible. I'm glad we finally got to see it through. I appreciate Gina. I don't love Gina, but I appreciate her. Love Emily. Glad we still have Emily. Zack, do you speak Spanish? I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately, Yennefer. I do not. Sorry. Shannon versus Heather, though. Were we really expecting them to be good friends, considering their beef, considering their history? Were we expecting them to actually be anything? What do we think of the new meat on OC? Love the new meat. The plastic surgeon, Jenny. Is it Jenny? I think her name's like Dr. Jennifer, but she said Jenny when she introduced herself to Heather when she walked into her house. So for me, I'm going to call her Jenny. And I know like Faces by Bravo, Steve, and Jeff Epstein both know her and have gotten like work done by her. So that's where she kind of first came onto my radar. Love her. She's hot. Her husband is hot. I'm sure they have hot sex together. Gorgeous couple. Seem very accomplished. They seem very, intelligent, very well traveled, very, everything you want in a housewife and a housewife hubby. So very impressed by her. Noella, the other two girls, they seem nice. Obviously, it seems like they're going to be in a lot of drama this season that I don't think Jenny will be in as much of that drama. But so far, Jenny is my favorite of the newbies that has come back. And I'm curious to see how this like big shebang goes down in Heather's house at her party next week as we continue to see that, because we know one of the new girls sued Terry, who's Heather's husband. And some people are like, how do you not know that this woman sued your husband? But I was also kind of like, well, but if you think about it, like people that have this much money get sued all the time. Like everybody's out for a cash grab. Everybody's out for a payday. So everyone's going to sue them for every little thing. So you kind of, after a while, lose track of like, who's trying to sue you. Because a lot of the times when people try to sue you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have grounds. It just means that they want money from you. Yeah, but it looks good. Shannon, I think, is trying to be like the new Tamara and being like, I'm going to stir the pot and I'm going to, make things happen. But it's like she just doesn't have the finesse that Tamara has. And not a fan of Shannon Bedore. Shannon Storms Bedore this season. She's really bedoring the shit out of me. He did such a bunch of lives hating on Meredith and expecting how the supposed steal happened. Interesting. We need Heather to take down Shannon. Oh, I think Heather's already plotting the takedown of Shannon. Heather's already making that happen. Oh my God, you're going to tell us what you think about the reason that Larsa got, or the read that Larsa got at the dinner table. Loved it. I cannot wait. I go back and forth about Miami. I'm excited about it because it's new, and it looks good, but I'm also just like, I never watched the original Miami, and some people loved the original Miami. I couldn't get into it, but I also was like so new to Housewives at the time that I was trying to not overload myself with another show within the franchise unless it was like a big breakout. But we'll see. I'm going to give it a try. Love that Larsa's in it, because the Larsa we have now is not the Larsa that like she didn't have the level of fame then that she does now. And the fact that they're like, you have a Kim Kardashian butt and you're a Kim Kardashian wannabe. And I was like, yes, I can't wait. Larsa's already my favorite. And then we also have Adriana, who's back. She's not full-time, but she's a friend of, which is interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. Jenny's husband never wears a shirt, and I love it. Drag Me Monique. I love it so much. I love it. I think that there are major issues in Jenny's relationship. Why? Do we know why Nicole sued Terry before they were married? No, I don't know why she sued him. I assume it was related to a plastic surgery, like a botch situation. I'm not really sure. To be honest, I haven't really looked into it because I was getting my hair bleached while it was airing, and I had to rewatch it this morning and was running around doing stuff today. So, who knows? Leah Black. Is Leah Black's back? Is she? Or she's not? She's not back, right? Oh, I realized I didn't get my Botox touched up. Same with Miami. Larsa is whole big vibe, and I think she's gonna spill a bunch of tea, maybe Kardashian tea. I don't know if Larsa's that dumb to like go against the Kardashians, because usually if you go against the Kardashians, you ain't winning. If you're gonna take a shot at this B, you better not miss. Nicole sued Terry over a bad boob job. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was about a plastic surgery mishap. I mean, her boobs look fine now. What was that? Nice tits, stupid bitch. That's not me saying it. That's a quote because I said that in my Kimberly Archie interview. I said, nice tits, stupid bitch. And then someone was like, oh, did Zack really just tell Kimberly Archie nice tits and call her a stupid bitch? Oh, and they clenched their pearls in the comments. And I was like, eat my asshole. It was a quote from the reunion from Beverly Hills. Chill. Dum de dum de dum bay, dum de dum de dum day, 0, 0, 0. None. Nice tits, stupid bitch. Let's see. What questions do we have? Who was the comedian? Oh, we already answered that. The comedian was Sam Bloomstone, right? Bloomstone. Do you think her one season on RHOC makes her think that she can pull crap like this? Eboni, yes, Jean. I do think that her time on television, or at least being part of the Housewives fame, makes her believe that she can pull stunts like what she did at the comedy show. It has some good backstory on the Alexa from Miami. Interesting documentary. Also has some backstory on Leah, too, and how her and her husband got together. Interesting. Oh, you know what I found at Whole Foods yesterday, you guys? Look at this. Barely Legal, the Girardi case. I haven't read it yet. I was trying to read it while I was getting my hair bleached, but obviously I had a lot of wine in me, and I had bleach on my head for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. How many hours? I don't know. Do the math. You may have gone over this, but how do we feel about Craig and Paige? Oh my God, I love Craig and Paige. I want to be Paige. That way I can fuck Craig. I'm pretty sure they have really great hot sex. And like, I don't know. They're a hot couple and I like them and I want them to have a baby and I want them to last forever, but I know they're going to crash and burn eventually, but I still want them to like live forever. Me too. I love them. Yeah. See, everyone loves them. I agree. Lynn's, MRSM, Molly. Yes. We love them together because they're cute and it's a fun vibe and we love it. Loves it. Speaking of loves it, what is it? The Paris in Love. Paris in Love is cute. I'm trying to get through it. It's on Peacock. It's the new show, but I'm trying to get through it. Paige has been spending time with the Southern Charm cast while filming, and they said that their cast is so much crazier than hers. I believe it. They also have so much more history, long-standing history than the Summer House crew does, because Summer House is like rotated with new people. Eboni there with Bronwyn at the comedy show, and she was so confident about going up on stage. Yeah, I bet she regrets that now, or maybe she doesn't, because her ego is so big. Have you put up your Christmas tree yet? I have not put up my Christmas tree yet. I don't have a Christmas tree yet. Fuck, but I'm supposed to have people over this upcoming Friday. I'm having a watch party for, what was it? Kyle Richards' new movie, The Housewives of the North Pole. I'm doing that on Friday. Not like a live watch party on Instagram Live, but I'm having friends over for some no-filter wine and some cocktails, and we're having like a Christmas party here at the apartment next Friday. So I should have gotten a Christmas tree for that, but I don't think I'm going to. I'll probably just decorate like the trees that I have here with Christmas lights. I just hate the needles and cleaning up the needles. Like, they're such a bitch to clean up. Paige said Madison was very sweet to her. Interesting. I do know. Yeah, Madison is back. Madison, I believe, is filming. That's a cute idea. I want to do that too. It's so fun. Why don't we all do something like that? Like, I'll share mine and all the little like cocktails and what I do for the holiday parties. And I think you guys should get with it with me. All you need is some cocktails, some good food, and a good Christmas movie. And if you've seen the trailer for The Housewives of the North Pole, so cute. Like, it looks like it's actually going to be a good movie. Kyle actually looks like she does great in that comedy role. All right, guys. Shall we wrap? Did we have fun tonight? FUN all night long? So Paris is married to a new guy, and the guy yelled at the DJ in her documentary. Paris in Love it's cute. It's not amazing. It's kind of like good background info. It's not as in-depth as her documentary. I don't know. It's cute, but it's not that deep. I'm drinking vodka right now. And a little no-filter rosé. Aw, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. All right. Any other final questions, thoughts, feelings, any dates planned for the weekend? No. I've decided that, like, I'm going to be single for well, I did invite Apartment Boy to my Housewives of the North Pole watch party. So we'll see if Apartment Boy shows up to that. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? It's just kind of a cute scripted show. I don't know if it's scripted, but it's cute. Well, I guess it's kind of scripted. Paris in Love. How's your tailbone and your back? Tailbone is still hurting, but I went and I got adjusted, which kind of helped it a lot. Apparently, my tailbone was like pushing into one of like my hips or my pelvis. I don't know. It was pushing into something, and that's why it wasn't healing. So I needed to get adjusted and get everything realigned. And now it's doing much better. Okay. Wait, Apartment Boy's back. Yeah, Ansley. Well, he never really left. It's hard to leave him or to dismiss him when he's literally in the building. Forgive me. I'm good as gold because I'm good as gold. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. We'll do after party over at Just Plain Zack. So head over to my personal account, Just Plain Zack. We'll do after party over there. I know, Ansley. We'll discuss it further there. But yes, after party happening at Just Plain Zack. Thank you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Love you, mean it. You're the bomb.com. If you were chatting in the live chat, I was right there with you. And if you weren't chatting in the live chat and you're watching this after the fact, I still love you, especially if you're listening to this on iTunes. And if you are listening to this on iTunes, please give me a 5-star review. I love that validation. You guys are so awesome, and I love all the support that you've given me this year, especially lately. Like the reviews on iTunes have been so sweet, and like they like make my heart burst for real, you know. So, muchas gracias. Thank you guys for listening to #NoFilter with Zack Peter and for watching the show. More great guests coming up. Stay tuned. We've got a great lineup of guests coming up, so get ready for it. If you haven't done so yet, go stock up on some No Filter wine at nofilterwine.com. They're Housewives-inspired cans of rosé. It is delicious. There's no sugar in it, but it is 14% alcohol by volume, so it will pack a punch. Go get it at nofilterwine.com. All right, guys. Love you. Mean it. I will talk to you next week. Bye.